for the very poetic presentation, and I don't have to conclude anything, right? So may I introduce the next panelist, who is a renowned landscape architect and also the warrior. So let's me introduce คุณยศพล บุญสม from Shma and Shma Soe. Please welcome คุณยศพล.
So can you hear me? Right. Hello. Can you hear me? So first of all, I would like to thank you, Asomsin Institute of the Art, for inviting me today. I'm very humble and honored to be here. And I would like to congratulate to Ole for the amazing work that you have contributed to the world. And just now I saw what Ajahn Kanika has written is very poetic. I don't know what to say. So, very touching. So, today I would like to talk about the approach that we've been working as a company. And I think I myself as a landscape architect, and I'm probably the only one here in the panelist. And I'm very nervous here, not because of only you to show, but all of us here. I think today I will try to have fun with it and having more discussion and sharing. So can I have my slide? So let's start over again. I would like to talk about the inclusive future. I think we are from here, the nature. Probably I'm from the mountain or the rice field here in Thailand. You came from the mountain in Norway, which is the same source of nature, just a different kind of context. And we used to live like this. This is especially for you because you can understand the context of where we are. We are Thai, we are living with water. But today, what we are living in is totally different. It's kind of a separated kind of the territory, and I think we are part of that kind of problems as a citizen, as a designer, as a government. I would call it like a separated kind of territory or city that we have been developed for decades. So I think this is one of the pictures that show it very clearly of how developing and that we end up living in this kind of conditions of the city that separate people from the river, from the water. And of course, the government has a plan to build this kind of the promenade. It's going to even worse. This is the kind of the environment that separate the people from the interactions that the city been doing. And of course, we are lacking of the nature. The tree become the threat, not the friends. And I think one of the city, the building try to be very friendly with the environment in planting climbers, but some of those planting the artificial turf in order to camouflage with the green. And I think people now, they're aware of that kind of the power to be part of the decision in making the territory better for everyone. But I think we are kind of pursue those kind of participatory and interaction and dialogue. Can you tell me what went wrong with that kind of the city? I think you have mentioned that words, that is very clear words, is our attitude. I think the attitude that we've been developing for the past, I think, many decades, is the attitude that we see things differently. Is more like a threat, not a friends. We're seeing the nature as an element, not part of us. I think this is one of, and I think landscape architecture or even architecture or any kind of the design element is a message in order to tell the society of how we should live for the future. I think the landscape architecture or architecture, we never see it as an end result, but rather the process. And the process that transforming not only the physical form, but socially as well. And I think this is a time where we need to reclaim back those attitudes that we used to have in living with nature and living with people right now. And I call this as a kind of the inclusive approach. The inclusive is not only the product, but it is a visual perspective and also the way that we look at. And I think to achieve, to solving particular problems or diverse problems. And I like this picture because the territory we can in this have the infrastructure at the sitting, but why not? They use it for the dish and eating in the restaurant. So I would like to see the territory, not the collection of the architecture with the landscape around it, but everything is interconnected as a totality in the one surface with the living mechanism, forces and flow that perform inside. Even here, it is the same territory. It is the landscape as well, not the interior. So if we look things in this direction, we might need to forget what is the landscape architecture or interior designer, or what are the environment that we're gonna solve, what are the environment that we're gonna tackle from now on. So I think this is the combined territory that probably we can looking forward to. It is all interconnected. I will show some of the work that I was passionate about and obsessed about. This is one of the competition that we didn't win, we lost. But the things that we get from that is that the idea remains. So once the idea remains, you want to develop it further and how to get the result and to prove your point of what kind of landscape and what kind of architecture that you're talking about in terms of the inclusive territory. This is a museum in Ratanakosin Island, but we didn't win it. But recently we got a commission from one of the clients to design this show house. And I took those ideas and developed this kind of house that doesn't look like a house. But it looks like a landscape that contribute garden, farming, pocket space, playground, and ecology to the urban. So this is an interpretation that we try to interpret the territory in different way in order to respond to the challenges differently. This is another competition that we didn't win as well, but we take the question: what is the park? What is exactly the park? Does it need to be like a landscape and horizontal? Can it be like an architecture and be like a three-dimensional dimension in order to integrate most of the activity inside, like a green carpet? Of course, we didn't invent it. But we took those ideas, and we just recently finished our garden that try to convey the message of the form of the terrain that can be in different kind of dimensions in order to create the territory for today. And I think it gives the idea of our interpretation in terms of the landscape as well. And this is one of the buildings that actually the client asked us to design the garden around the building, like everyone else. But we took that as a constraint of the little garden and to cover the whole thing as a facade. So it became like a living facade in order to tackle the climate in the high density of Bangkok city. And then one of the park that we also be involved in promoting as a civic group in order to turn the leftover space like a gigantic abandoned land in the city center into the park. And I think the government tried to pursue that this very valuable piece of land should turn into like a commercial compound. But we took those ideas of why don't we combine the landscape surface and the architecture as one territory, become like a totality environment and can achieve both in terms of the ecology, serving the commercial function and become like a urban farming and water detention pond for the city as well. And I think when we talk about the inclusive territory or inclusive idea, it's not about the physical form alone, but it's about the approach, how can we achieve that. And if you realize that nowadays people try to be involved, and I think it's a people power of how we can develop the dialogue with them and come up with a very specific and very dynamic outcome that not only for the physical result, but to create a transformation of the society at the same time. And it's a kind of two ways communications that this approach has contributed. It's a dialogue between the people, designer, and all the stakeholders. And this is one of the projects that we did with Asomsin Institute of the Art and also the Thai Health Organization in order to design the community park for the public housing. Normally, when you're talking about the public housing and the community park, it will end up like having the typical park that people and government normally do. But with this process, we can get a very specific outcome and programs in order to create a very specific spaces for the people. So this is the community park. It's not very big, but we have created the outdoor living spaces for many activities for elderly and for the children, and herbs garden and mini malls within this very domestic and very intimate kind of space. So I think it turned out that the people and the children and all the community are very happy. It's not because of the physical spaces that they can actively use and transform their health, their living conditions, but I think it gives the people the sense of belonging. And nowadays, people use it, the park very actively and organize it and maintaining the park with the local government as well. So I think the success of this project is not about the park as a physical form, but it's about transforming the people to become the citizen in taking care of the park and mini malls in the futures. So this is one of the another project that we try to transform one of the old districts at the city center to become the creative district. We work with the Thailand Creative Design Center, Thai Health Organization, and Thammasat University in order to come up with a master plan. And this project not won, but we received a highly commended award from the World Architecture Festival in Berlin last year. I think when we talk about the master plan, I think the shift in doing the master plan here is not about imposing the idea of the master plan in the urban area, but it's about having the dialogue with the people of how can we develop the master plan together while grooming the ownership and the idea out of the stakeholder that be part of the process at the same time. So it took us about 6 to 8 months to develop in talking with the stakeholders. The kid is one of the stakeholders as well, in order to identify the problems, the programs, and the possibilities. And we come up with many ideas and many projects that will develop it further in the futures in order to make sure that this district can turn into the creative district in incubating the creative ideas. And we even tried the one-to-one mock-up during the last day of the workshops in order to invite the people and try on. I think the idea is not about showing the physical form, but about igniting them to see the possibility and the futures. I think, as to conclude, I think one of the ideas is that how can we move from the separated territory that we are living in today to be the inclusive society. Not the society is a big word because it includes everything. It's not about the physical form, it's about the relationship between us. And how can we move or use the design as a tool to transform the people to become the citizens. I think this is the keywords in doing this kind of the inclusive approach. It's about empowering people. And this is one of the interviews that touched my heart because when we interviewed this lady who are part of the process in transforming one of the community center in community park, the lady told us that she is very proud when we finished the park. The word that she said is she very glad and proud is very meaningful because it means that someone is respecting her voice, her view. And then it slowly transformed the park to be the place for her and for everyone. And now I think she become the citizen who's going to taking care of the park with the friends and with the communities. And I think this is a process that we would like to create the future for our city and I think for other cities as well. As to conclude, I think the future is lied upon this role that we're going to change from designing, but by facilitating and listening, and to design the territory that combine everything to tackle the future challenges. And I think it needs to go through with the people participate process as a center. And this is the battle that we are all in. And if we can win it, we all win. No one going to lose. So thank you.